I'm sick, and I have been sick for the past week or so. Thankfully, I am recovering, but it hasn't been fun because I've had to work while being sick. And I'm sweating, which is... G'day mate, Mingo here. I'm a game developer making a video game that champions a deaf character, and this is a video series chronicling the development of that very video game. Today is a quick one, but for the first time I am taking a look under the hood of game development and show you how I animate the character inside Unity. As always, this video will show footage of a game that is very early in development, so a lot of things can and will change. And you will even see something breaking slowly, so keep that in mind. We have the animating frames for edges running direction working, so let's move on to the next character in line, which is Phoebe. Her running animation. So the first step of the process was to animate to draw the animating frames for her running directions. So before I say which directions they are, I want to say that I have planned to have 8 different running directions for this proof of concept prototype. But in the interest of minimizing my time spent and actually achieving a milestone, I had to shrink that down to 4 directions. And for each direction, I had to also scope down to 4 frames for each direction. So now I have the running frames for up, down, left and right. So with that in mind, I hop into Clip Studio and animated the running frames for those directions. Here's a bit of wisdom. Instead of taking so much time to deliver something perfect, just deliver what you can so you have something to show off at least. You don't have to spend too much time going to every meticulous detail. Just deliver something you can worry about the final details later. In a way, with the animated frames done, we move into the game engine itself, which is Unity 6, where the first part is clamping the rotation of the player character, so that instead of being able to move freely, we had to constrict the movement of a player to 4 directions. And the best way to do that was going through the programming and rewiring the programming so that the direction of a player is not to 4 directions relatively to the main camera, which fits with the isometric perspective. There's still a bit of programming quirks related to this, but I can worry about that at a later time. Let's just focus on the animations. Next was importing the animating frames into Unity, which took quite a while, and I had to convert them to sprites so they would be usable. And the most arduous part of this comes where I had to place each frame in one by one to create the animation itself using Unity's animator. Once that's done, I can check on that and oh, that's kinda small. Funny thing about this part is you have to make sure that they are the same size. Otherwise, that will cause some inconsistencies. Like what you just saw. So we can have one spot being 976 by 2048 and the other 2048 by 2048. You have to have every single animated spot being the same size, so that every size, every frame, every spot remains consistent. Next comes the fun part of animating, the animator. Within this animator, I had a graph where I had set parameters to check whether the player was moving horizontally, vertically, or if they were even moving at all. For instance, the horizontal value. If a horizontal value was more than 0.1, the player was moving to the right. And if a vertical value was greater than 0.1, the player was moving up, and so on. We also need to set the animated change for when the player speed. So to check if a player is moving and if a player has stopped moving. For instance, if a player stops moving, if the speed is less than 0.1, the player will switch to the auto animation. Finally, we need to create more parameters to check whether or not the player changes directions. The good thing about this part is we don't have to set the speed because the player is already moving. With all that done, we can now check our handiwork and now we have the fully animated file running frames for Phoebe inserted into Unity. Woo! That's 5 animations down. 12 to go. And that's just about the play animations. Do you see how to scope down? Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like what you saw, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more Death Diaries. And if you leave a comment, please let me know how much you hate animating Unity and how much torment it sets you. I'm okay now. Anyway, I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye, mates.